Today on Voices for Change, what does it mean to be an ally for social justice? An expert breaks it down.
Being an ally is a verb, it's not a noun. And so it's something that we all continually have to do.
Supporting the cause as the sports world protests inequities, front office executives stand with them.
We as a society have to pick up our fellow citizens and get our community to a better place.
And putting words into action. A professor shares what it takes to teach students to be anti-racist and become advocates.
Transformation as a process occurs within the individual people or groups while engaging in the social justice work.
Welcome to this week's episode of Voices for Change. I'm Greg Lee. We started this show more than 2.5 months ago to continue the conversations about racial inequity and calls for social justice. Those conversations have spanned a wide range of topics: education, police reform, sports, just to name a few. Today, our focus is on answering the questions: where do we go from here? How can we be better allies and even better advocates for change and equality? Activist, organizer, and communications expert Leslie Mack created a virtual boot camp called Allies in Action. The workshop focuses on helping people become anti-racist and put together a plan to create change. She explained what being an advocate really means.
Leslie, thanks for joining us. I just want to start with your Allies in Action boot camp. 4 parts. Just tell us how important those conversations and that training is.
Yeah, the great thing about the training is that it's really built to give participants the tools they need to create an actionable action plan at the end of the course. So it's not just about the learning. We really want to focus on the doing, and we really help people build a plan that they can take action on as soon as they leave the camp, and talk about the things they need to research, the tools that they need, how do they build support for themselves in the work that they want to do, and how do they make sure that they're in good, accountable solidarity with other folks in their community doing similar work. And it's really critical.
That action is what we've heard from a lot of people, that they don't just want allies, they want advocates. Dr. Bettina Love talks about co-conspirators. Can you stress the need of taking that action and what that looks like?
Absolutely. You know, being an ally is a verb, it's not a noun. And so it's something that we all continually have to do. And this is not just about race, it's not just about gender. We have so many parts of our society that are marginalized in different ways. And how we show up for those folks, how we support the work that they're already doing. I really always dislike this idea of giving voice to the voiceless, because nobody's voiceless, right? It's about who we're listening to, who we're ensuring other people hear. And that's the job that allies and advocates have, is making sure that we're working in concert with those that we are working to support and be in alignment with, and that all of our actions that we do take are in alignment with the work that's already happening. I say all the time that we can have different strategies about how we get where we're going, but we all need to make sure we're pulling in the same direction so that we're all advancing the cause together.
One of the things that we've certainly heard is about wanting support, but not wanting the message overshadowed or co-opted, so to speak. You have written, plan to mess up and just do better. Can you talk about that a little bit, especially when it comes to racial justice and social equity?
Absolutely. What I try to tell people to focus on is accountability, not perfection. We're human beings. We're going to make mistakes. And part of taking action is being willing to make those mistakes and being prepared to take actionable response to when you mess up, to not get in your feelings, to not be defensive, and to understand what is being said to you about what happened and what went wrong. How do you make repair? How do you ensure you don't do this again? And what are the lessons you glean from the mistakes that you've made so that you can share them with others so they don't fall into the same traps that you did?
Leslie, we like to say this is not just a movement, because I think that takes away from the fact that this is a fight people of color, and especially the Black community, have been fighting for a very long time. If you were in front of your class and you were giving a message about the importance of listening and reflecting, then moving forward from right now, what would you tell them?
The biggest thing that I tell them is that you really need to get clear on how you personally are connected to, affect, tolerate, and perpetuate these issues that you're looking to address. If you don't get clear on that, your actions are never going to be as powerful as you want them to be. So you need to look at the places where you hold power, where people near you and close to you have power, and leverage those things for good. Leverage those things for the places that you want to make an impact.
Are you hopeful that as you look at the climate of the country, that we can move forward, that we can start to make progress?
I believe in Black people. I believe in Black people to liberate ourselves. And I believe that those that are in solidarity with us, that they will step up when they need to and show up in the places that we need them to. What I've seen and what has given me hope is so many people joining our movement, people waking up to the fact that this is a movement that they need to be a part of, and seeing how many areas of our society that this movement is starting to touch. That's what's been giving me hope. The days ahead are not easy, and they're not going to be, but that doesn't mean that our fight is not any less righteous or worth fighting.
Our thanks to Leslie.